You are exposed to mold every day, turning challenges into strength. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to dive into a topic that touches all of us, whether we realize it or not. Mold. Yes, mold. It may sound unusual to call it motivational, but stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll see mold in a completely different light. You'll discover that mold is not just a hidden, silent presence in your environment. It's a perfect metaphor for life, challenges, growth, and transformation. This is going to be a journey of awareness, mindset, and empowerment. So sit back, take a deep breath, and let's unlock the lessons that mold can teach us about resilience, strength, and thriving despite adversity. Mold is everywhere. It's in the air you breathe, on the surfaces you touch, sometimes in the very walls of your home, and even on the food you eat if it sits out too long. Every single day, whether it's positive or negative, you are exposed to mold. Most of the time, you don't notice it. Sometimes it's harmless, sometimes it's damaging, and sometimes, if you learn from it, it can even teach you something profound. Mold is persistent. It thrives in hidden spaces, in the damp corners of life where most people never look. It grows in silence, multiplying in the dark, finding ways to survive no matter how often you clean, scrub, or paint over it. Mold is a survivor. And that, my friends, is where the lesson begins. Think about it. How many challenges in your life are like mold? They hide in the corners, in the quiet places, in the parts of yourself or your environment you don't always want to face. They don't announce themselves loudly at first. They whisper. They spread quietly. But over time, they begin to show. And you realize that ignoring them doesn't make them go away. It only allows them to grow stronger. Mold is a symbol of persistence, but also of the hidden struggles we all face. And here's the powerful part. Just as you can learn to deal with mold, you can learn to deal with the challenges of your life. When we talk about mold, many people immediately think of the negative: health risks, damage to homes, unpleasant smells. And yes, there is truth in that. Mold can weaken walls, make people sick, and spread toxicity if left unchecked. But that's not the end of the story. Mold is also part of the natural cycle of life. Without mold, we wouldn't have penicillin, the medicine that has saved millions of lives. Without mold, organic matter would not break down the way it does in nature, feeding new life and new growth. Mold is not just destruction, it's transformation. And that, right there, is the key to seeing how mold becomes a metaphor for our lives. Life is full of things that, at first glance, look purely negative: failure, loss, rejection, pain. These experiences creep into our lives like mold, sometimes unnoticed until they've spread further than we'd like. But here's the truth. Those very experiences hold the potential for growth, healing, and transformation. Just as mold breaks down what is old to create space for the new, the challenges you face are breaking down parts of you that no longer serve you, making room for the stronger, wiser, more resilient version of yourself. Mold reminds us that transformation often begins in the hidden, uncomfortable spaces. Pause and think about the word exposure. Every single day, you are exposed to mold. Some of it is harmless, some of it is toxic, and some of it, even if we don't like to admit it, can be beneficial. The same is true of the people, places, and situations you encounter in life. Every day, you are exposed to influences. Some of them uplift you, some of them drag you down, and some of them challenge you in ways that ultimately make you stronger. Exposure is not something to fear. Exposure is something to manage, to understand, and to learn from. Imagine your mind and your heart as a house. Every house has strong walls, open windows, and hidden corners. Some parts are spotless, others need attention. Mold, like challenges, will try to creep into the damp corners. If you ignore it, it grows. If you face it, you learn to clean it, control it, and create healthier spaces. The same applies to your inner life. The doubts, the fears, the negative voices, they are like mold spores floating in the air. You can't stop them from existing, but you can choose how to respond when they land. Will you let them spread, or will you take control and transform your inner environment into one that supports growth and strength? Here's where the story of mold becomes not just an observation, but a call to action. Mold thrives in darkness. It thrives in neglect, but it cannot survive in the light. The moment you bring awareness, the moment you shine a light on the hidden spaces, mold begins to lose its power. Isn't that true for life as well? Your struggles, your fears, your doubts, they grow strongest when you hide them, when you pretend they don't exist, when you leave them unspoken and unexamined. But when you bring them into the light of awareness, when you talk about them, when you face them head on, their power begins to shrink. Mold teaches us that illumination is the first step to transformation. And here's the mesmerizing part. Mold also teaches us patience. Mold does not grow overnight. It spreads gradually, almost imperceptibly, until suddenly it's there in front of you. Life's challenges work the same way. Nobody wakes up one morning overwhelmed by doubt, fear, or limitation out of nowhere. It builds slowly, and just as mold spreads quietly, so too does growth. You may not see it at first, but every choice you make, every mindset shift, every small act of courage, it's spreading, creating new patterns, transforming your inner world. Patience is key. Just as mold doesn't appear overnight, neither does transformation. Now, let's take this further. Mold is opportunistic. It takes advantage of the conditions it finds: dampness, darkness, neglect. In the same way, negativity takes advantage of certain conditions in your life. When you neglect self-care, when you live in emotional darkness, when you allow fear to dampen your spirit, negativity grows. But here's the empowering truth. You control the conditions. You decide whether your environment supports growth or stagnation. By choosing light, by creating healthy habits, by opening up spaces of self-awareness, you change the conditions. You make it harder for negativity to spread and easier for positivity, resilience, and strength to thrive. Let me tell you this. The presence of mold in your life is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of being alive. Every living system faces it. Every house, no matter how clean, is vulnerable. And every human being, no matter how strong, faces challenges. The question is not whether you'll encounter mold. The question is how you'll respond to it. Will you ignore it, let it spread, and watch it take over? Or will you face it, learn from it, and use it as fuel for transformation? Think about the times in your life when you felt overwhelmed, when negativity seemed to spread in every corner of your mind. Did it break you, or did it teach you something? Did it force you to grow, to change, to confront parts of yourself you had neglected? That is the gift hidden in the struggle. Mold may appear as decay, but decay is not the end. It is the beginning of renewal. The old must break down so the new can emerge. Your challenges, your setbacks, your failures, they are not endings. They are compost for your growth. And so, as you listen to these words, I want you to think about your own life as a house you are building day by day. You are exposed to mold every single day, but you are also exposed to light, to air, to resilience, and to hope. You cannot control the spores floating around you, but you can control the environment within you. Keep your inner house well lit with awareness, well ventilated with positivity, and strong with habits of self-care and growth. When mold appears, do not fear it. Face it. Learn from it. Let it remind you of the power you have to transform every hidden challenge into a source of strength. Remember this: mold is a survivor, but so are you. You have survived everything you've faced so far, and you are still here. That means you are stronger than you know. Mold may spread, but so does hope. So does courage. So does love. And unlike mold, those forces thrive in the light, and the more you nurture them, the stronger they become. So the next time you think about mold, whether you see it on bread, smell it in a damp room, or simply remember this message, let it be a symbol for you. A symbol of persistence, transformation, and resilience. A reminder that hidden challenges can lead to visible strength, and above all, a call to action. Do not hide from what is growing in the dark. Shine a light, face it, and transform it into fuel for your growth. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this message resonated with you, if it gave you a new perspective, or if it inspired you to see your challenges in a new way, I invite you to stay connected. Subscribe to my channel for more motivational content. Share this video with someone who might need this reminder. And together, let's keep building lives that are resilient, hopeful, and full of light. Remember, you are exposed to mold every day, but you are also exposed to the power within you. Choose wisely, grow boldly, and keep shining.